We've all heard the cliches about life after divorce. But if you're a high achieving woman over 40, those cliches aren't just annoying, they're actually keeping you stuck. Today, I'm busting three of the biggest myths that high functioning women fall for. And I have a promise for you. If you give me the next 10 minutes, I'm going to expose the specific stories keeping you anchored to your past. By the end of this video, you won't just see these myths for what they are. You'll have the clarity you need to start designing your life with intention. Stick around for the third one because it's the exact story that keeps most successful women trapped for years. Myth number one: time heals all wounds. I'm sure we've all heard that. The truth is, time alone doesn't heal. Alignment heals. For instance, it can be 10 years since your divorce, and you can still be stuck in the same emotional loop if you haven't done the inner work to heal. Time is just a container. It's what you put inside that time, the boundaries, the self reflection, the inner work. That's what actually heals. And the goal here is alignment. We need mind, body, and spirit alignment. Alignment isn't a quick fix or a one time event, it's a daily practice of checking in with your mind, your body, and your spirit. When we think about healing in our minds, that starts when you start noticing that that story that you've been telling yourself isn't true, and you need to move on from that. Listen to your self talk. Is it positive? Is it patient? Do you give yourself grace? Or are you talking to yourself in a negative manner, a way that you would never talk to your best friend? Think about how much time you are spending talking about things that happened in the past instead of living in the present. This is where you want to focus, okay? When you're thinking about your mind, focus on healing that inner talk, that self critic, making it more positive, more encouraging, more hopeful. That's when the healing starts. And now let's talk about the body, because healing happens in the body when you feel safe. And that means setting some boundaries, and not just with your ex, but with your time and your energy. One of the things I always say is that everyone who demands your time is not entitled to it. And no is a complete sentence. Do not spend your time and energy on things that drain you, that don't bring you joy, that aren't uplifting, and that keep you stuck. One of the best things my daughter told me after my divorce, and I still had that personality, and I still was the one who was trying to do everything and be everything for everyone. And I was getting depleted, and I didn't really understand why, because this was just who I was. This was what I did. And she said to me, Mom, you need to give people the same amount of energy that they give you. And she was absolutely correct. We cannot continue to pour into people that don't pour into us, because at the end of the day, we will end up with an empty cup, and we can't pour from an empty cup. So keep that in mind. Protect your time, protect your energy. Once you do that, you'll see that your nervous system can finally start to settle, and you can stop living in that survival mode. The other thing is, rest is important. You definitely want to rest. You want to watch your diet and eat so that you're fueling your body and strengthening your energy. And exercise, whatever that is. It can be walking, yoga, whatever you're into. Make sure you're giving your body what it needs to thrive so that it can heal. And then lastly, your spirit. Healing requires you getting in touch with who you are and who you want to be, and being really, really intentional about your next chapter. So Alignment is making sure your thoughts and your actions match your new vision of yourself. Myth number two. Now, I am sure you've heard this. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone else. The truth, however, is getting to know yourself will get you over your ex. So before you invite a new person into your life, you have to be comfortable with the person you are now. And one of the best ways I think to do that is one, to really get to know yourself and to really start practicing self love. And self love can start with that self talk. Is it positive? Is it encouraging? Is it uplifting? Make sure that you are not spending time on a lot of negative self talk. Okay. The other thing is if you're holding any shame or guilt or anything around the divorce, forgive yourself. Okay. Give yourself some grace. Really start to get in tune with who you are. Start practicing self care, and you can start small and then you can scale, but make sure you're taking time out for yourself. You are treating yourself. I have a client recently who told me she loves flowers. And since there was no one in her life to buy herself flowers, she bought them for herself. Fantastic. If flowers make you happy, surround yourself with flowers. If you can't afford to buy the entire flower shop, just every week you buy yourself a different flower. But just make sure you're doing whatever it is that's bringing you joy and giving yourself that self care. And like I said, start small if you have to, but do something. Don't make yourself an afterthought. Okay. Make yourself the priority. Get in tune with what you like, what you want, what you don't want, and what you are not going to tolerate, because all of those things will help you when you decide that you're ready to invite somebody into your life, because you will be at a point where you love yourself so much that the person coming in can't help but to love you equally. So prioritize yourself. Ensure that you are the most important woman in your life and you are becoming the best version of you. And once you do that, you will notice that you no longer let your ex live rent free in your mind. They will become an afterthought because you are the priority. And that is how you get over your ex. Myth number three, we have to be perfect for the kids. The truth is that your kids do not need a perfect mother. They need a mother that's real. And as high functioning women, we often think perfection is the goal and that we're doing this for the kids, when actually we are doing them a disservice by not sharing our transition and never letting them see us rebuild. So don't put that pressure on yourself to be perfect. Show up as you are. That means some days it's going to get messy because some days are good, some days are bad. And that's okay. They need to see that because they are also going to have good and bad days. And they need to know that they can get through them no matter if they're good or bad. They can get through them. And so instead of focusing on trying to be perfect so that you are protecting the children, think about trying to be authentic so that they can actually see you go through something and get to the other side. Because that's going to help them and that's going to build a resilience muscle for them just from watching you. The other thing is be present. You need to be present for your children because divorce is not just impacting us, it also impacts them. So we need to be there to listen, we need to comfort, we need to nurture, we need to understand. And that is just as important. So, not being perfect, but being present. And then finally, we need to show them that we can face challenges. And if we need help facing it, that it's okay to ask for help so that they know when they have a challenge, they can also ask for help. They don't have to do any of this on their own, just like you don't have to do it on your own. So stop putting that pressure on yourself to be perfect and just show up as the wonderful mother that you are. And by showing your kids how you reclaim your peace, how you reclaim your voice, you are actually teaching them resilience. And that is one of the things that is so important. And if you'd like to hear a little bit more about this particular subject and how children are impacted by divorce, my next upcoming podcast this month with my daughter will feature my daughter rather. So you can get a perspective from a child who grew up and watched her mom go through a divorce and then watch me go through that transition afterwards. So I will leave you with that. But again, please just know you don't need to be perfect. That should never be the goal. None of us are perfect. Just be present and be yourself. At the start of this video, I made a promise that you'd walk away with the clarity to stop living by these old stories and ready to start designing your life with intention. Looking at these three myths and the truths we've uncovered, did I keep my word? Which of these stories has been holding you back the most? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you're ready to start building a life of true alignment, click the link in the first two lines of the description to book your complimentary clarity call with me today. Let's map out your next chapter together. Until next time, remember, this is your season to rise.